Hi, this video will show you a little bit more about how to compute the mean using a frequency table. So when you have a frequency table, you have something like this. Here's our variable. How often do you call in sick per week to work? And maybe you call in 0, 1, or 2 times per week, and nobody calls in more than twice per week or they lose their job. At least for the sake of this data set, let's call it that. So remember, first focus on the count. So we find the counts. F of x is our count column. It's the frequency of x. Here they're calling the variable x. You could call it y. And the book loves to use y a lot, so you'll see that. But it doesn't matter if it's x or y. So we have f of x, frequency of x. We have 3 people that said they call in 0 times, 2 call in once per week, and 1 that calls in twice per week. So this gives us a total number of people of 6. We have 3 people, 2 people, 1 person. So we have 6 total people in the data set. Now we add a new column, f of x times x, or as I say, the book calls it f of x y. What this means is just to multiply 0 times 3. And the real key for most students is seeing what's happening here. So if you put these out in a row lined up like many students prefer to see it, we have 3 people that said 0, so here's 1, 2, 3. We have 2 people that said 1, so here's 1, 1, and another 1. And 1 person that said 2, there it is. So here you're 6 people again, but in long form like this. So this adds up to 4, and as you can see, if you multiply out and add it up, you're also going to get 4. The reason is because what you're basically doing is looking for like groups. So here we have all the zeros. And if you said, find all this, line everything up from smallest to largest, find all the zeros and then off to the side, multiply them out and tell me how many you have. Or add them up and then tell me how many you have. It's the same thing. I could add these up. A 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals 0. Or I can just say 0 times 3 is 0. Put it off to the side. Now let's add up all the 1s. 1, 2, so I put that off to the side. Or I could just say I have 2 1s, so I'll multiply 1 times 2, and I have 2. I have 1, 2, so that's also 2. And again, you can see here, if I just put them up long form in a line here from smallest to largest and add them up, I have 4. If I go do this grouping, if I find like values and add them all up, or multiply, I say I have 3 zeros, and I multiply it out, and then note it down, and then do that for the next group, and note it down, and so on, I end up with the same thing 4. And this right-hand column is exactly what the f of x, y is doing, because all we're doing is noting down here the count of how many zeros we have, the count of how many 1s we have. So it's the same thing as going through the like numbers and adding them up and writing it off to the side. So it's giving you a sort of shorthand notation of how many of each of those numbers you have, and then multiplying it out. Or you could think of this as adding it up. It really is the same whether you multiply 0 by 3 or add 0 plus 0 plus 0. So you could think of this column as a sort of sum of all of those values for this group. And what you can see is we have 6 people in the data set. Here you have 6. You can divide 4 by 6, and you get 0.67. That's going to be the same if you add it up like this and get 4, you add it up like this and get 4. You use the frequency table, you have 0 times 3 is 0, 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 1 is 2, and that adds up to 4. So really what you need to do is get comfortable seeing that what you're really doing is looking for like numbers. First you line everything up from smallest to largest. Look for like numbers, add them up, or just do that by multiplying and make a notation off to the side. And you go through and add all those up. So really it's just a different way of adding up. And this usually helps students see how this works and what's going on here. If this isn't super helpful for you, that's how learning stats can be. Everybody sort of understands it a different way. So if you have a best practice that helps you remember this, be sure to post it on the discussion board, and thanks for watching.